What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. Hope everybody's doing good, And I know what you're thinking. Another Ford? I know, it's crazy. Actually, this belongs to a good buddy of mine. Little 64 Fairlane. 289. Red as a red things. But you know, I love these cars. I've always been the small Ford platforms. You know, I love my 65 Malibu SS, which was basically the car, the Chevrolet version of this. You know, my first hot rod was a 63 Falcon Sprint. And you know, I got a lot of Ford buddies like this guy. Everybody knows I was into the Mustangs in high school, and I loved my GT Mustang. And I had a Ford. You know, when you got Mustangs and Fords, you got to hang out. Like Ford guys all hang together because nobody else talked to them usually. Or so what my dad used to tell me anyway. And I had one Ford buddy. And it's actually ironically, everybody asked me about the very first car I ever sold. It was a 1979 Ford Mustang, and I actually bought it from him, my buddy Travis. And me and Travis were buddies, and Travis was a diehard Ford guy. Mustangs, Ford trucks. He loved Torinos. He had a couple fastback Torinos. He had a Grabber Blue and a Grabber Green, 68 and a 69 Torino. The green one had a 351 in it, and the blue one actually had a 460 in it. They were cool cars, you know, and I mean, this was back in high school. So me and Travis were always getting in trouble. Well, me and Travis took auto body together at Henry Vocational Center. Talked about that. We're renting out the frame machine, and yes, I did. And we had a guy that rented out the booth. Well, Travis got talking to a lady, and she wanted her car repainted. And of course, Travis says, hey, my buddy is good at painting, and we can get a booth. We can paint your car for you at school. So we get this lined up, and so we swap out frame machine time for paint booth time. It's kind of like being in prison when you're at vocational school like that. Like everybody had a hustle, and you claimed it. Like I was the king of the frame machine. And like, you know, I had to go talk to the paint booth guy. We got this Maxima in, and it was a 80s Maxima. And it was so funny because our shop teacher, a great guy, still around today. And it's always tickled me. People that teach are usually not that good at it, and he was no different. He could show you how to do it all day, but doing it himself, usually you got pretty lackluster results. I mean, I could probably paint something with a brush better than he could with a gun, but anyway. So we get this Maxima in, and it was like a real pretty dark metallic blue. So, you know, we send it outside, and we put the little flunkies, like the entry-level kids, water sanding it outside. We tape it up. Heck, we roll it in the booth. I'm mixing paint. Psst, lay it down. Base looks great. Everything's even. You know, when you're spraying metallics, you got to be real careful. You can do what they call tiger stripe. You got to be on your A game with metallics. And this thing was perfect. Perfect. And I mean, just looked great. Shoot, son, I went over there, mixed my clear up, come in, shot the clear on it. This thing like it was that deep. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect. I cranked that booth up, got her hotter in the depths of hell, walked outside, smoked 2 Marlboros, talked to 2 different girlfriends, went back in, touched the paper. I mean, she's already getting super tacky. Love it. Came back outside, shooting bull, walking around. Come back in, we roll her out. And this thing is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, literally, just that blue was beautiful. You know, I mean, just came out phenomenal. So we roll it in the shop. We're going to pull the paper off of it, put, you know, the little trim back on it and whatnot. You know, it's dry to the touch, but it's not cured yet. Just enough where you can kind of handle it a little bit. You know, I mean, really not for cutting a buff in or anything like that. Travis is a big old boy. A lot of big Ford cars, you know, and I know Travis probably couldn't fit in this Fairlane. You know, he's a big old boy, and he's bragging. He said, whoa, Rob, boy, knocked it out of the park on this thing. Da, 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 da. And he's leaning against the car. And Travis, you know, he's a big old boy. He has blue jeans on, and he's leaning against the car. I said, damn, does your backbone not work, son? Get off that damn car. We just painted it. Hell, it had been 2 hours. As soon as he lifts up, there's 2 perfect pocket prints with the Wrangler in like the back on the quarter and the door of this Maxima. Ruined my paint. Ruined my paint. So what do? You got to wait for it to dry with water sand. We ended up putting it back in the booth and we fixed it. It came out pretty nice still. But I mean, you got things like that and you learn. We still laugh every time we see each other. We talk about that paint job and just some of the silly things we did in body shop, the trash we talked. Something a lot of people don't know is I took all my classes in auto body. Well, I still had a half a semester left, and Travis did too. So, you know, we've done all we can do in auto body. We can't take it anymore. Well, we've got to fill up the schedule somewhere. Well, you know, all the new students have already signed up. You know, it's halfway through the year. So there's only a few openings like drafting. Didn't want to do that. Heat and air, auto mechanics, and cosmetology. Well, naturally, me and Travis signed up for cosmetology. They wouldn't let us. I think it's sexist. I don't know. But anyway, so went to auto mechanics. I'm a car guy, this ain't nothing. Well, needless to say, we made about a whole week in auto mechanics and got kicked out. So we went to heat and air. We were working with a shop teacher that was showing us how to make duct work. And it's so funny because Kobe just came in and he sliced the ends of his fingers off. Well, this guy sliced the end of his fingers off and he always wanted to touch you with that finger. Like it freaked me out. And the only thing I remember about heat and air, you know, I mean, because I took this, 3 or 4 months, I was in there at least. And like we had all these equipment and this stuff and brakes and spot welders to make all this stuff work. I could have learned some valuable skills there. I just didn't want to. I learned how to make Chinese stars with a shear. And what we would do is we would throw them up in the ceiling. We had, you know, the Vocational Center was a metal building like this. And we throw them in the ceiling and they get stuck in the insulation. The only problem is they'd stay up there for about 30 minutes, then they'd fall down. Well, me and Travis done threw probably 30 of these things up in the ceiling, and we're laughing about it and whatever. And there's this one little kid, and it couldn't have happened to a better person. He was just a little twerp, just a little ass kisser. And it actually fell and stuck in his ear, like right here. And, you know, and they had to take him to the emergency room and all that stuff. And I was telling him we're going to amputate his ear. And we actually got put on to garbage duty for that at Henry Vocational Center. We got put on to garbage duty. Well, keep in mind we had a class that was like carpentry, and they built all the portable classrooms for the state. So that's where all the redneck boys hung out over there. And then we had like a criminal class. I don't remember, there weren't criminals in it yet, but anyway, I had that class. But so we had garbage duty. Well, you know, we kind of had to run to the school. Everybody knew us. So what do? You know, I found a nice piece of metal rod like this, and you know, and I go over there and they had these big long gutter nails. So I get me one of those and I'll go over to the body shop, zizz it up, weld it to it, bump it on the grinder. I've done made a sword now. I've made a lethal weapon. And we're over here stabbing things, trying to stab each other. Me and Travis are walking around picking up cans at school. Teacher comes back out and he goes, I'm gonna send you back to auto mechanics. He said, before you kill each other. He said, you don't have but a month left. He said, just try to get along with the teacher, keep your mouth shut, sit in the seat, show up, graduate, get the hell out of here. Please. Yes, sir. So me and Travis go back to auto mechanics, and auto mechanics teachers are another thing, kind of like, you know, the body shop teacher. He really wasn't that great of a mechanic. He could tell you like the fundamentals and the characteristics and anything that book showed you, he could tell you about, but he's an idiot. And me and him didn't get along really good. And, you know, and so he sent us out into the shop. And we had vehicles that were donated from General Motors and Ford and whatnot. And we had a Ford Taurus sitting there. And there was this one kid in the class, and he was another little ass kisser. And me and Travis were just looking for a reason to mess with him. And there was this Ford Taurus that wouldn't run. And the car had like 7 miles on it. It had a big dent in the top of it. And I guess like in a car carrier got messed up, so they just donated it to the school. It wouldn't run. You know, this idiot's like pulling spark plugs out of it, like that has something to do with a brand new car. Well, you know, I've been around this stuff all my life. Well, I noticed the back bumper was also pushed in on it. A lot of you guys don't know this. Fords have a thing called an inertia switch. And basically it shuts the fuel pump off in an impact. I mean, like there's a lot of times you could take a Ford car and you could hit the bumper hard with a bike and make that little inertia switch pop. And it's just kind of like a circuit breaker in a house. You just push it back in. It's fire. The fuel pump's hot again. Everything works fine. So I dig around, I find the inertia switch. It was actually inside the trunk. Fired right up. Shop teacher was over there talking to somebody. I don't know. He went in the shop and we got it running. Me and Travis sitting there, he is. We need to drive it. This thing ain't never been driven. We need to drive it. Good enough. So we drove it to lunch. We ride around in this car with no tag, no insurance, and we drove it to McDonald's. And it was all good till we got back. And the shop teacher was waiting on us. And the principal. So we got back on trash duty again, but he was smart. He gave us these little clamp things to pick up trash with. He wouldn't let us make our own little picker-upper things. But like I miss days like that. You know, like it makes me sad to see vocational school going away. And I mean, I know I joke about it all the time and all that, but I actually learned a lot of good skills from that. I learned a trade from it. And, you know, did I end up being a body man? No, I didn't. From that, a really good friend of mine who had no interest in auto body, he just wanted to hang out with me. He took auto body, and now he owns a body shop. It's kind of funny seeing how that works, you know, over the years. Because of what I learned in auto body, spotting the bad body work, or knowing the difference between single stage paint and base clear, or, you know, looking at a car, or looking at a wreck, or estimating a wreck, or just looking for shoddy work all the way around, or knowing good body work when you see it. You know what it takes to get something to a certain point. You know, it's like I just bought an OBS truck the other day. I walked around, I can tell you in 10 minutes what's going to cost me to get this truck back tip top, looking pretty again, you know, as far as on the body shop side of it. And, you know, even though I hate doing body work, I know that. I learned that skill. And that's the importance of this. You know, everybody loves that desk job and everybody loves that, you know, you a flipper, you're this and that. In sales, there's so many hats you have to wear. And I think that a lot of kids get sold short now because these vocational programs are going away. So, I don't know, it kind of makes me a little sad. I'd love to see some of this stuff come back. I was actually talking to my shop teacher. They did away with body shop class all the way around, which blows my mind because it was always packed out. It was a pretty popular class, but I guess it's with the change in times, as you can see with her model. I told her I graduated in 98. She said, oh, I wasn't even born yet. Super. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars. Is that my cue? What's going on, guys? Oh, 13.5. Love it. Guys, be sure to visit trailermod.com for all your trailer parts needs. Be sure to use promo code RABBIT15 for 15% off your order.